All right, so get this. A mouse on a plane actually caused an emergency landing.
You can't make this stuff up.
Right. It's not some like a quirky remake of a certain animated movie. This is real life. Truth is definitely stranger than fiction.
100%.
We're going to dive into this whole thing, not just, what happened, but why something so small caused such a huge reaction.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So you guys sent in some articles. BBC News, India Today, and People magazine all covered it. Each one's got like a slightly different angle.
You do. It's pretty interesting.
So we're going to untangle this whole story. Okay, so picture this. You're cruising at 30,000 feet, Scandinavian Airlines flight, Oslo to Malaga. Maybe you're like watching a movie. Maybe you're trying to sleep, and then all of a sudden there's a tiny stowaway. Who decides it's time to make a grand entrance?
Out of the meal tray.
Yeah, by leaping out of the meal tray.
Can you imagine?
I can't even.
And it wasn't just any meal tray. It was the tray next to a passenger named Jarl Borestad. He's the one who saw it happen.
Talk about wrong place, wrong time, right?
No kidding.
I would just die. I can only imagine the panic. But get this. He stayed calm.
You're kidding.
He even put his socks over his trousers? Yeah. Just in case the mouse wanted to get a little too close.
Smart.
I know, right? Thinking on his feet. But on a serious note, the airlines, they go into like high alert mode over something like this because, and I don't think people realize this, a mouse on a plane, it's not just, an unwanted passenger. It's a safety hazard.
100%. And it's not just about it running around, being annoying. These little guys can cause damage.
Big time. And the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, AOPA, they actually talked about this. The People magazine article quotes them. Rodents can chew through electrical wiring, like the important kind. The kind that keeps the plane up in the air. Short circuits, potential fires, not what you want to be dealing with at 30,000 feet.
Definitely not. Plus, let's not forget about let's just say it, the unsanitary side of things.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you've got droppings, you've got urine. That's not just gross. It can corrode important aircraft components.
Oh, wow.
Like, imagine rust slowly eating away at a metal fence. After a while, it weakens the whole thing. Same idea here.
Right.
So the stakes are a little bit higher.
Yeah, just a tad.
30,000 feet in the air, it all comes down to safety. And airlines, they have to have really strict protocols to make sure something like this doesn't happen in the first place.
What's interesting is the airline spokesperson actually said that this is super rare. Like, they were very upfront about having systems in place for almost everything.
Which makes you wonder, what happens when something happens that they haven't planned for?
It's kind of like, how do you prepare for every single thing that could happen, right? Even if you have a whole bunch of procedures. And speaking of unexpected events, this whole mouse thing, it kind of reminds me of something that happened on a Delta flight, actually. Completely different, though.
Really?
Yeah, the India Today article mentioned it. The flight had to make an emergency landing, but because of pressure issues. In the cabin, I mean. Some passengers even had, like, nosebleeds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
That's a whole other level.
Totally.
Shows how much pressure the airlines are under to deal with anything, Tiny mouse or a huge technical problem. Right, like keeping those flights running smoothly is intense.
It really is.
It's a huge balancing act. But, okay, back to our furry friend. The airline, in their statement to People magazine, they made it clear they're taking this seriously. They're doing a full inspection of the plane.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And they're going to investigate how a mouse even got on board in the first place.
As they should. It's not just about this one mouse, though. It's about keeping people's trust. They have to show passengers they are doing everything possible so this doesn't happen again.
Oh, for sure.
You know who I feel bad for? The catering company.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about that. Can you imagine?
Total PR nightmare.
That could be really bad for them.
Reputation, contracts, maybe even legal stuff, depending on how it all goes down.
It just shows how important their job really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're probably like combing through their whole facility right now. With like magnifying glasses, probably.
Yeah.
Going over every single step, how they prepare the food, how they load the planes.
Intense.
I bet there are already strict rules about hygiene, but this might make them even stricter.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah. It really makes you think, what other things, like challenges do airlines face that we don't even think about? We see the mouse because it's right there, but what about all the stuff going on behind the scenes?
All the stuff we never even know about, right?
Exactly.
That's like a whole hidden world in aviation people don't even realize. And a mouse, it seems so random, right? But it just shows that there's these bigger things happening.
Hey, it's true. We kind of forget about that sometimes. When you're actually sitting on a plane, you're like in a giant metal tube. flying through the air.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. We put a lot of trust in the systems, and the
Yeah.
people making it all work.
We do, 100%. And it's not just the stuff we see, right? Right. There's a lot going on, like, think about germs. Planes are like the perfect place for them to spread. They have to work hard to keep that under control.
Right. All those people crammed in.
Exactly. And then there's air traffic control. That's its own thing. Coordinating all those flights, making sure none of them get too close. It's mind-blowing.
Like a giant dance or something happening over our heads.
It really is. We see like a tiny part of it from our window seat.
All right. And then you've got the silent threats. Like, what about birds?
Oh, yeah. Bird strikes.
That can really mess up a plane engine.
Big time. They have systems to, like, scare birds away.
Yeah.
Even falcons at some airports. Train falcons to keep the skies clear. It's really cool.
No way. See, this is what I love about these deep dives. You learn so much. All this stuff we take for granted, like peeling back the curtain.
Exactly. And it just shows you aviation, it's all about being careful, paying attention to every little detail, from the pilots, the crew, the people on the ground, the mechanics, everyone. Even like you said, the catering companies. Everybody's got a job to do to keep things safe.
It's a team effort. It makes you appreciate it all a little bit more. Even something as small as a mouse, it can cause all this chaos. But it just shows how important all those systems are.
Yeah.
And all the people behind them.
For sure. So next time you're on a plane, just remember
Right.
all that invisible stuff that's happening to get you where you need to go safely.
Right. Maybe think twice about complaining about the food. There's a whole team of people who made sure there weren't any extra ingredients in there.
Exactly.
Well, this was fascinating. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the crazy world of aviation. And until next time, safe travels, everybody.